Welcome to another drawing session with Mikhail Supreme from Night and Day Anime Studios. Today we are celebrating Women History Month. There will be 3 drawing sessions for the month of March. I am very honored to start the session with Kamala Devi-Harris, which you should all know that she is the 49th and current Vice President of the United States alongside President Joe Biden in January 2021. Kamala Harris, born in October 20th, 1964. She is the American politician and attorney. She is the United States' first female vice president, the highest ranking female official in U.S. history, and the first African American and first Asian American vice president. So today I am going to draw um, Kamala Harris, and hopefully you guys can join me too in this nice drawing session. I will start off with basically doing a little bit of line work, and as you can see on the screen there, I have a reference, 2 references there, just a little bit differences into likings that I might want to use and utilize. But if you look at the one on to the right hand side, the elongated one with her in the suit, I'm going to mainly be drawing that if you have seen from the first frame of this video. So when I get started, hopefully you guys got some paper and pencils getting ready and a good eraser. And what I like to start off to is when I start doing a drawing, I always like to do a very light sketch at first. I look at the reference, I start with the face, I start with the head, do a nice little sketchy circle, and then I do a line going horizontally across and another line going down vertically. And that will be centering the face, so I can lay out the face very nicely centered in the head, in the face there. I don't have to worry about any laps. And I like to add in like a scalp on top of that circle because you want to make sure you have something of the skull formulating where you lay out the hair on top. But we'll get back to that later. Next, I'm just pretty much forming out the shape of the head. Very lightly now. I can't stress this any further. You have to draw this and sketch it out very lightly when you start working on a drawing piece. It's just in case you have to erase anything. And of course, I am working off a digital tablet. I have a Wacom Syntec tablet, 12-inch, 1200 series. But if you're working off a paper and pencil, obviously you should draw very lightly because if you have to erase anything, you don't want to get any eraser burn. So now I'm just putting lines under the head just for representing the neck. Let me just shrink this down a little bit more so you guys can see a better view of what I'm doing. Now I'm putting a line going across under the neck there. That's going to be representing her shoulders. Kamala Harris is also a member of the Democratic Party, and she served as a United States Senator from California from 2017 to 2021, and as an Attorney General of California from 2011 to 2017. So now I'm just adding a little bit of sketch line to work there. Again, all this is just rough sketch. Nothing dominating yet to make sure that I'm satisfied with the drawing. But when you do this, it's very important that you do a very light sketch of the work first before you start putting any necessary detail lines into it. You want to make sure everything fits on the page. Because I know a lot of times when I start drawing a character right off the bat, sometimes you might have to find, and hopefully you may have to get into these issues too if you're an artist, that not everything fit into on the page once you already get halfway in. So you have to like shorten your horizon a little bit. But I notice everything is satisfied. Now I'm going to be adding on the line work for the hair. I'm looking at the shapes of the hair, whatnot, very round edge, and then adding little curls at toward the end of the hair around her shoulders. Again, nothing dominating, just to make sure everything that I want to fit into the page does fit. Remember this, nothing here is concrete yet. All right, now I'm just adding a little bit more details toward the jacket. Now if you look around here under her neck there, I know she has some pearls around her neck there. So what I'm doing now is just adding guidelines, little circular line motion under her neck, so I know where the pearls will be at, and the sleeve, not the sleeve, the collar of her shirt. Now let's get now close now to the face. Now I'm just adding ovals for around the lines, around, for the eyes, and then just line works for the eyebrows. That first line that's going horizontally across the face, that of course is called the eye line, and the second one is called the nose. As you can see now, I'm adding like a circular motion for the nose and adding the bridge of the nose around the center of the face there. So I know on that centered line, everything's going to be centered nicely on the face. I don't have to worry about too much of the one-sided heavily than the other. Now that third line under the nose line, that's just where I'm going to be placing the mouth. She has a nice little smile there, so let's go add a nice smile there. Very circular in the bottom, and then you're going to be repeating on top. Now I'm just going to refine the line just a little bit more toward the jawline and chin area. And adding just a little bit of bottom lip. And just going to curve down, centered toward the line, and then upward again to the next edge of the mouth for the upper lip. And then I'm just going to add a little line across for the mouth, for the teeth. There we go. And then just adding just a little bit of line detail for her cheeks. Of course, she's smiling, and you know when you smile, you using muscles in your face there to smile, so you want to add that little detail there. All right, just looking at the reference. Now I'm going to be working on a little bit of eye on the eyes there. I'm going to add some eyelashes there. My style, I always like to add like 3 or 4 eyelashes. Of course you could add more, but with me, I always like to keep it, less is more to me when it comes down to it. So I'm just going to add 3 lines going upward on top of the eye and darken the eye line on top there to add the feel of eyelashes, and of course thicken a little bit toward on the bottom to show that there is some kind of bottom eyelash. Now I'm going to be adding a little bit of line detail to show that there is basically the eye anatomy there a little bit. Adding the pupils in. And then I'm going to add a little bit more line detail for the eyebrows. Of course, I have 2 references here that I'm going to use, and the one for the body and a little bit more for the facial features. If you can see that I have 2 there, but my primary objective is to try and make it as close as possible to the actual reference that I'm using. So it's good to have references. You should always use a reference if you're not sure. Many popular artists that's in the industry do use the references when it comes to it. When it comes to action poses, facial expressions, when you try to draw a character like how we're doing today, Kamala Harris. And I was adding some of the cheekbone A little bit more line work, a little refining the lines a little bit. There we go. Now let's see here. I think I'm gonna go work on that hairline a little bit. There we go. See, so you can see there, I started toward the center of that line going down, and then I have the hairline starting there and then going whished away down toward the side on top of the ear. And then I'm gonna add the earring, add a little bit more to the ear there. Look at that. See, again, I'm just adding just little line work, wish from the forehead down the center there. But that's where, to me, I find where the hairline begins, and then have it wish across there. Let's get rid of a little bit of that. I don't think too much of that. Let's erase some of this line work, so we have a better idea what we're working with there. There we go. There we go. Add in a little bit more line for the hair. You want to have, like, just go crazy. Have your hand loose when you wish those lines going across, so it'll be more fluent, and you can try to add some kind of movement to the hair. You don't want it to be too stagnant or kind of cut short. Now I'm going to start on the next side there, adding like the hairline going across the scalp there. I see she has like a bang going down the side of her face there. We're gonna work more on the shape of the head, of the hair, I should say. There we go. Again, all this should be done very lightly on your page. Again, I can't stress that. Don't add any 100% pressure to the pencil on the paper. I would say a good 15-25% of pressure, if you could imagine what that is. Very lightly now. One reason it looks dark here because I'm working off a digital tablet, but on your page, you should be doing this very lightly. Just in case you have any mistakes, you have to erase. And of course, you have to erase some of this line work too, with the guidelines that you already added on to, like, say, the shoulder lines and the facial line guidelines you created. Pardon. All right. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going to add some circles around those lines, those circular lines I made around her collarbone. And then just to, again, all these are just guides just to help you do this correctly without just drawing it out and then you have to erase because you messed up. Again, all these line works are just guides to help you establish and have a powerful outcome onto your drawings. Doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to let you know what direction you're going with. So that's where we're going to be adding the pearls here. All right, let's zoom out. Let's see what else. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more line details for the hair. Let's have a nice little design going off from the jacket. Now right here I'm kind of experimenting a little bit to see how it looks, but I'm not going to go with it. I'm just going to get rid of that. You see, that's what I mean. If you experiment a little bit or you see you messed up, you have to erase it. So from that, those reasons, it's good to draw it very lightly on the page. I'm going to add a little bit more jacket to the shoulder, and then I'm going to go add like that collar of the jacket. Let's see how this comes out. I know it looks very sketchy, but if you had seen the first frame, that was the finished outcome that I came up with. But anyway, let's keep going. Yes. Adding a little bit more length onto the jacket to proportion it with the head. All right, so now I'm going to add a bang from the hairline going across above her eyebrow there, and it going way away from the face there. You see that, how it looks like from the reference I'm using and the small reference picture. And then I'm just going to darken the hairline just a little bit more around the edges there, so until I'm satisfied to know that how it's framed out well. Here we go. All right, so now at this point, this is how it should look on your page, like very light, like this right here. It should be very light, like this here. So now I'm going to be going to the second stage. There's 3 stages when it comes to doing these things. Is basically the first stage is the sketch. The second stage is the refine, which is I'm going to show you in a minute what I mean by that. And the third stage is the finish, where you're adding like the color and the textures. So at this point now I'm ready to ink. At this part of the session, you should be starting to erase all those guidelines you have, the vertical and horizontal lines you did for the face, any unnecessary line work that you don't need into your to your finish. Get rid of that now. The line work that I have going for the shoulders, of course, that neck, all that kind of the drawings that you have, erase all that at this point, and then you'll be ready to start inking. All right, so now I'm zooming in a little bit, and I'm going to start refining the lines a little bit. Start inking around the eye first. I always love starting with the eyes for some reason. I just love doing that. I don't know. Everything else is good, but I always like to start with the eyes. I always find the eyes is basically the portal to your soul a little bit, and also one of the many traits that shows the closeness to the reference of your artwork that you're trying to give in. You know, eyes give so much expressions. Just consider the mouth and the flaring of the nostrils or things like that, or the arch of the eyebrows. But the eyes definitely tell a good tale. Just add a little bit of line detail there around the eye. You should have a very good marker, or if anything, a fine point pen at this point, and just trace over what you have already sketched out. If you not feel safe to ink yet, of course, obviously, you can add more pressure to your pencil now to make sure you are satisfied with what you have. If you're not confident enough that you have a good finished outcome, you can add more pressure to your pencil now, and just refine the lines a little bit. Get rid of some of that sketch work. Now I'm adding like a little bit more of the pupil. With me, I always like to add like a little glare, little white into the eye there, into the pupil. And it's funny. I'm very excited about this month's session for Women's History Month. Kamala Harris, again, it's a very good, powerful start for one thing. And did you know she began her career in a county district as a county district attorney in office before being recruited to the San Francisco District Attorney's office, and later in the city attorney to San Francisco office. In 2003, she was also elected as District Attorney of San Francisco. She was elected Attorney General of California in 2010 and re-elected in 2014. Wow. Harris served as the junior United States Senator from California from 2017 to 2021. Amazing. Now, as a senator, she was also an advocate for health care reform, a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, and that was called the DREAM Act, which means the Development Relief and Education of Alien Minors Act. It's a United States legislative proposal to grant temporary conditional residency with the rights to work to unauthorized immigrants who entered the United States as minors, and they later satisfy their further qualifications. They would attain permanent residency and ban on in the United States, and she also banned on assault weapons to clean up the black community. Wow. So at this stage here, all I'm basically doing is just tracing over my artwork. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to do a time lapse just to shorten this video, so you can see what the benefit of the artwork that I've been tracing over my drawing. So let's get to it, shall we? So you're going to see a time lapse. Do not fret. It's not something wrong with the video. So I'm just doing this, adding just a couple of line details, refining the lines a little bit. Let's see here. Let's zoom in, zoom out. As you can see, I'm not going all the way tracing exactly the artwork. And, if I find that I can improve on a line here and there, I obviously will do it. I don't have to do exactly that. Let's add that smile there. Look at that. Ah, she's smiling. Let's go on with the eyebrows there. The cheekbone around the jawline. Yeah, I'm just fixing it up a little bit. Add some lines there. Look at that, see? Add some lines there to the hair. Just little wish lines. I'm not even stressing my hand. All I'm doing is just letting my hand just guide across the screen there, and just letting the flow of my hand and the pencil go across the screen there, and just try and give that nice little whisk. Now I'm just going to add, refine the line around the earring there in the ear. Let's go ahead. Now around the mouth area there, I just add some lines for the teeth. I'm not going to leave it like that, of course. Again, just guidelines to know exactly where I want the teeth to look like. Now let's go to that hair. I start with the hairline, where the hairline starts. Whisk, whisk, whisk. There we go. Right across around top there. There we go. There we go. Little fine line details. You don't have to go crazy and draw every strand of hair. If you want to do all that detail, obviously, I'm not going to stop you. But if you're a beginner and you're just now starting off, obviously, less is more. Trust me on that. And then down the line, if you want to, just take it to the next stage and start drawing, with a lot of lines and stuff like that, you may do so. I know especially if you're doing it with pencil, it may come out very well. But since I'm working digitally here, I'm going to just do this here. It's just for you beginners today. Yeah, I'm just adding a little bit more line details to the hair. There we go. Now we're going to work on the next bang that's on the next side there. Hair doesn't supposed to be organized. Hair is messy, believe it or not. Not every strand of hair is unified or uniformed in a way. You just want to, try to make sure it makes sense though. That it flows well together. It going into one direction, I should say. Pardon. And and now I'm just gonna start adding a line work around the top of the head there on the next side. right, I'm just gonna add a little time lapse here. There's the neck, the line for the neck. Now I'm going to add the circles for the pearls around her neck there. Again, see, I just used that line just to help me guide myself there in there. Adding the line work to the jacket. And I'm just erasing some of the extra lines that I need just to clean up a little bit there. Now I'm going to be refining the line just a little bit. Meaning that I'm just going to be relining the line, make it thicker, more nice, a little bit more cleaner, so it won't look too sketchy. Now I'm just adding a little bit detail lines for the cheeks, because she's smiling, so you want to show those cheeks extruding out. I'm adding a little bit of hash lines there, little hash crossing lines there, just to show a little bit of shading. Again, it's, you know, the lines, the separate the lines, the lighter the shading, the closer the lines, the darker the shading. Now I'm just going to clean up the teeth a little bit there. Just call me a dentist right now. Just adding a little bit of line details there. Instead of making it square, I'm just going to try to make them a little bit more rounder. Clean up the line work a little bit there. Add a little bit more line details to the face there to show a little bit of muscle anatomy there. For around the cheek area there. A little bit around the eyes. Let's clean up the teeth a little bit more. Alright, so far so good. I'm looking at my drawing here. Make sure everything else I need to be done. So far, you know, I'm satisfied how everything's looking. And this is step 2. I got rid of the guidelines, as you can see so far. I got rid of the guidelines. None of there you can see now. Everything is just straight up, you know, just the ink work that I have already so far. All right. So again, this is what I call the refine. Now I have to go into is step 3, and that step 3 will be actually doing like the coloring and textures and lighting and shading. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go into the next part of this. As you can see there, you can probably see the finish on the screen there, but let's just go back into starting showing you the coloring and texturing part of it all. So at this point now, I'm just refining the lines a little bit more, trying to add in like that dark details onto the jacket and the line work around it. So again, it doesn't look so sketchy. I'm trying to clean up my work, make it a little more thicker lines around the frame of the drawing and within too as well. Let's go do a little time lapse here. Darkening the pearls a little bit, the hair, the jawline. I kind of outlining it. Look, I'm looking at the drawing reference here. So what I did here is that I have the picture of the reference here, and I'm sampling coloring from that using the computer eyedrop tool that takes samples of the color. So I selected the area to my digital tablet that I want to color, and you can see there I'm paint bucketing the flats. This is the flats are mainly it's just the background color before the shading and the lighting. Now I'm just selecting the skin tone around the face, white out the eyes and the teeth. The hair, the eyebrows, eyes, pupils, the earring. We selected the pearls, made them white, add some shading to it. Now I'm selecting the face. Now I'm going to be doing the shading. Shading is a little bit different. When you shade, you have to really think about where the light source is coming from when you do your shading, and or use a good reference to help you with that. Adding coloring to the lips, shading the teeth and the eyes next. Now I'm going to be adding the lighting, where that light source is coming from. To me, the light source is coming from this pinpoint on her forehead, and then I'm going to add some lighting to the cheeks and to the bridge of her nose. When it comes to lighting, obviously I would always, when I sample the flat, I would just use a higher color, a little bit of white more on top of it to give it that light source. And then the shading, obviously, I use gray, and the layer on top of it, I multiply it. Multiplying mainly means is that it will just blend, basically blend with the flat color under it. So I actually, believe it or not, I use gray, and the lighting, I just use a higher, lighter color tone from the flat. And I'm just shaping out the shading. Yeah, I have a lighting right by the bridge of her nose there. So anyway. So, Kamala Harris sought out to become the next president of 2020 Democratic presidential nomination, but unfortunately had dropped out of the race prior to the primaries. But her journey did not end there, folks. Joe Biden selected Harris as his running mate in August 2020, and their ticket went on to win the general election in November. Harris assumed office as Vice President of the United States of America in January 2021. But do you think her journey ends there? We will find out. Can you see Kamala Devi-Harris run for presidency in 2024? Think about the possibilities. She can become the very first person of color, female president of the United States. Amazing. That would be wow. Yeah, so just adding the highlights to the hair there. You're gonna add the highlights to the jacket. Shading to the shirt. Yeah, so let's just check it out. Check out the finish that I done for this drawing for Kamala Harris. If you look onto the right-hand side, coming in, that is the finish that I did for Kamala Harris. What do you guys think? I really hope that you like it. I would love to hear some comments about it. If you like my drawing, that'd be great. Let the library know if you actually enjoyed this session. And I'm really happy that to do a Women History Month drawing session with you guys today. Next session will be Serena Williams. And after that will be Simone Biles for Women's History Month. Hope you guys get a chance to see those videos really soon. And thank you for watching my video. I hope your drawing came out good. Please share with the library. I would love to see your work, and also seek me out. This is Mikhail Supreme from Night and Day Anime Studios, and I hope your drawing came out very well. Please share with the library, like I said before, and have a blessed day, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you.